this out. I'm going to make sure people get in because sometimes notifications are whack. So we'll see here in a second as people pop in. And like I said, we'll run a test first before we do anything else with the audio. So it's not even... okay, now it's showing we're live. It just showed it. Let me put a tweet out. In depth with Pepino, we live. Alright, share that out. We are a few minutes early. So again, we'll let people filter in here. There's usually like a minute or two delay. Alright, here people start coming in. What up, Sterling? Zach Sports Card. How you guys doing, man? So we're going to have Pepino, like, do a little audio test to make sure, like we always do, make sure that the audio is good, that you can hear him. You guys never have a problem hearing me, but it's always usually the guest. So, Pepino, you want to do a little check 1, 2 or whatever?
Yeah, check 1, 2, check.
Are we good, guys? How does he sound? Is the sound okay? Is he low? What's good, guys? Hey, let us know if he sounds all right. I know there's a delay. I always, because OBS is such a delay, so It's like we're waiting on them to... Is he good? Could you hear him good, or does it need to be louder? He's good? Okay, can I get 1 or 2 more people to say it's good from when you talked? Sounds good? Sounds good? Okay. All right, well, I think we're going to get right into it. All right, guys, we are in another episode of In Depth with Defness. Tonight I have a special guest. He is a legend in the card community, in the mean streets of the YouTube world. I got my man, Cesar Pepino Man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How's everybody out there, man? Nice to be here.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, we know you really well, or a lot of people know you really well. For some people, this might be their first time seeing you, which is always good to get some new people that have other places they can go to look for content. But most people know you, in the card community as kind of the humorous, the guy with the personality, we shall say. And we're gonna dive in tonight, but I really want to kick it back. I want to start with where you grew up, kind of your childhood. Like, walk us through a little bit, if you will, of what that was like and where it was, where you grew up.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was born in Mexico, so I lived in Mexico till I was 5 years old. When I came to the United States, right in time for kindergarten, and during that time, I was like an illegal alien. So for like 3 years, my younger brother was born in the United States. So what we had to do back then basically was we go and get in line with our car, and in the line to get out is usually like a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So we get in line, and when we get a little bit closer, my mom would walk me through. We'd walk through the border, and I would use my brother's birth certificate because we're only a year apart.
Okay.
So my mom would like take me across the border, and then leave me like at a spot with some comic books and stuff, and I would sit there for hours. She would go back to the car, and then they come around in the car like a couple hours later and pick me up. And also, that's what I had to do for 3 years till I became a citizen. I became a citizen at 8 years old.
So
for 3 years.
For 2
years, that's what we did.
So you were born in Mexico, but then once you became a citizen, where did you grow up from there? Where did you live?
I lived pretty much in the same area in Baldwin Park in LA County my whole life. We moved around a lot, but yeah, it was pretty much always like Monty, Baldwin Park area.
Now, for people who don't know those streets or the areas, I mean, pretty close to Los Angeles, or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's depending on traffic, 10, 20 minutes away.
So it's close. Hey, would you say that there is the neighborhoods or in some of the areas could be a little rough, could be a little tough?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I mean, things are probably a lot better now, I think, than it was when I was a kid.
Right.
But I think there's so many more options of things to do,
Right.
now that like
Right.
before it almost seemed like it was a lifestyle you were going to be born into, and everybody you knew was
Yeah.
a thug and cholo looking. It was cool to be a gangster back then. I don't know if it's as cool as it was back then anymore.
Right. So, in those years of being a citizen, living around this area, I mean, talk us through it. Your younger years, maybe even your teenage years, going in towards the high school years. I mean, did you find yourself like kind of being a thug? Maybe in the gang banging side of things a little bit, but maybe not associated with the gang, or maybe even. But either way, like talk us through that. How was that? I mean, how was it for you? Did you associate yourself kind of with those people, or did you get yourself away from those people?
No, I very much associated with.
Yeah, yeah,
It was like kind of one of those things. We used to live in a real bad part. I remember it's called Delwood Street, and down the street, like for us to get anywhere else in town, we had to walk through the Delwood apartments, and that's where like all the gangsters live.
yeah,
So I remember as a kid, you would always get harassed. It was so it was like one of those start hanging around with them kind of things. So it made it easier for me. Like my whole point was trying not to let my brother get into it.
right,
So
right.
yeah, I did that lifestyle, and it was actually kind of fun. In a way, I guess. When you make it out
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, but a lot of people don't make it out okay, I guess. But that's the bad part. But yeah, I was definitely into it. I dropped out of like for majority all the way into junior high.
yep.
I was a pretty good kid. I we were poor, and me and my mom, like my mom and my dad would separate a lot, so
Uh
we would
huh.
move a lot. Like my mom would move out and then they get back together. We move out, they get back together. So I would spend like 6 months or a year living somewhere else and then come back. But I never had a problem making friends,
Right.
and that's why I always say is like sometimes I consider myself lucky to be poor because we always moved into apartments, and the great thing about living in apartments is that there's like 20 other kids
Right.
there, in the complex.
Right.
So everywhere I went, we always had we always played football, baseball, tag, just whatever. It was fun everywhere I moved.
Yeah.
It was and I grew up in the '80s, so the '80s was pretty fun with breakdancing, and I
Yeah.
was into BMX. That's one thing is I never at that age I
Yeah.
never associated myself with any particular group. I would skate. I was
Yep.
into BMX. I was
Yep.
into breakdancing. I was into sports. I could go around to any group, and
Yeah.
kind of fit in, in a way. So
Man.
that
So
that that was fun.
So did you in those years back then, I mean, did you ever I mean, you were in some bad areas. Did you ever see some pretty crazy things, maybe some life-changing things? Was there anything that you ever really had to witness or you were kind of in front of or encountered at all?
Yeah. That was a lot. I was also by the time I was in high school, and I had dropped out of high school basically.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in the streets, and I was a tagger for one, so I would spend a lot of nights out on the freeways, hanging off bridges, climbing rooftops, stealing spray paint. You
Yeah.
know, I don't think I ever bought a can of spray paint, but I probably used like 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, in my lifetime, I probably stole like 1,000 cans. We used to go on missions to steal cans, but yeah, the graffiti time was fun. You definitely ran into a lot of problems when you're on the streets at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
You see a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
only that, I was in a party crew. So if you guys don't know what like a party crew is, like a group of people that throw parties, backyard parties, and we would charge. And so we lived that life. Teenagers in the '80s, ravers and stuff.
Yeah.
We were out on the streets. Everybody's on the streets. Everybody's like 14, 15 years old, and
Right.
everybody's out on the streets at 2 in the morning. You
Right.
know?
So growing up through this, and I would say it's awesome and it's an honor to be able to have you here today because, like you said, there's a lot of ways that your life could have went. There's a lot of there's a lot of angles that could have happened. You know, you could have got yourself locked up. You could have got yourself for life. You know, you don't know what you get yourself into.
Oh yeah.
But how did Pepino Man? How did the man we see here today with such a humorous personality? When was it or how was it? How did you get away from that? Like, how did you kind of separate yourself? When did that take place?
Um, I would say that's always been my thing. Is that I guess everywhere I went, I would say that I was always the clown. I was always the funny guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like honestly, I think that got me accepted easily into any circle. You know what I mean? I
Right.
did, like when I was a kid, I got sentenced to a year when I was 17 years old. I got sentenced to a year in camp, like a prison camp
Yeah.
for juveniles. But I only ended up doing like 6 or 7 months because then the riots happened. So I got released 30. I was locked
Oh.
up during the riots. So I wasn't in the
Wow.
streets to experience that. But it got so overcrowded with people coming in, they released me early.
Nice.
But even in there, I was like really the only guy that can go hang out with, the Asians, with the Mexicans, with the whites, with the
Yeah.
blacks, like because my humor, like, opened doors with me to hang out. Like I don't know, I always felt like it was easy for me to make people laugh and like they accepted me.
Right.
That's like a big thing. That's like a really big thing, I would say. My humor has always been like people want me around or something.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny when you say that, and it's always crazy to me whenever I get somebody on here, I always get to know them more, just like the rest of the people that are watching or watch this later. But I always say there's connects, whether it's how you grew up in a better neighborhood versus a worse one. But you stayed on, or you say that you always were able to get along with every group. And I think I've stated that myself in previous streams, like even in high school, like I would be cool with the people we called the under the stairs people, the guys that wear the trench coats, the long black trench coats. I mean, I was cool with them, the jocks, the gang, the gangsters, everybody. No matter who it was, I could get along in every clique, and I didn't go and hang with just one particular clique. And that's what's kind of cool is like I build that connection now with you, Pepino Man, saying that same kind of thing. Only you being in like some hard streets over by L.A. or in L.A. or in California, I guess we should say. So it's cool. And again, going back to the question, like, was there a certain time you remember where you decided that, you know what, hanging out in all these different groups and doing all this stuff, like, was there a point in your life when you decided that, you know what, I have to make some changes, even though I still like to have fun and I'll have some drinks and I'll smoke here and there and I smoke whatever. But was there a time where Pepino Man decided that, you know what, it's time for me to let a lot of that stuff go and, change my life?
Um, yeah. And by the way, this is not beer. Um, to tell you the truth,
No beer.
I didn't drink or smoke uh, at all when I was younger.
Yeah.
Everybody I hung out with did. One of the things I remember when I moved into a new neighborhood that got me in, I worked at a liquor store, you know, and so every time these people were gonna have a party, they'd ask me if I could get them beer, and like people would give me a list, and I'd go to work, throw it in the trash can, and then just put some newspaper on top of it and take it outside, and they'd pick it up.
Yeah.
And so, man, doing things like that, people love me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I remember everybody wanted to be my friend because I would give everybody free beer, but I didn't even drink back then. You
That's
know what I mean?
crazy, man.
There's always, that's always a thing too when you could do people favors. I talked about this on one of my videos about like when I was locked up. When I did like my 6 months,
Yeah.
I was in there with some pretty bad people, and one of the reasons that I was like valuable in there, I guess, is because I used to write love letters for them for their girlfriends. I had all
Ah.
these guys, that would ask me to write letters to them, and I'd be corny, man. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I can't wait to get out and take you on my lowrider. I would just write cholo love letters,
Yeah.
for everybody in there. And so that's why I can write like a gangster because eventually, like at first I would write it and I would tell them to like write it in their own language. And then some idiot like sent it away, and the girl was like, "That's not your language, you know, that's
Right.
not your writing, you
Right.
know." So I ended up writing like them, you know. That's when I learned to write like them, you know, like a cholo. So I started writing all these letters in cholo writing, I guess, you know. And it's
That
just kind of I have it now. Every time I write, I have these gangster letters, you know.
that is awesome, man. That's a cool little thing. And if you guys haven't seen Pepino's videos, obviously his link is down below in the description for his YouTube channel. Make sure you grab him up. Make sure you're watching him. We'll talk about more of that later as well. But so when were you first introduced into sports cards, hobby, etc.? When was your first introduction to the sports card or the hobby world?
Um, my dad played in the minor leagues like for a year or two, and the year that I was born, he stopped playing. I never asked him why.
Yeah.
But we've always been a baseball family, so he's always played in the little Mexican league around the neighborhood,
Yep.
which I played in too, man, and it sucked. One of the worst experiences I ever had was playing in our Mexican league. Cause like none of these guys knew the rules, you know. It was crazy, but anyways, you know, it was a trip. There were so many fights over like bad calls and like that's not a bad call. You gotta tag him. You know,
Right.
whatever. But my dad was always so everywhere my dad went. Like my mom, me, my brother, my sister, we all went, and there was always the kids of the other players there, and so we would always be on the other league on the softball field playing baseball. You know,
Yeah.
and baseball cards. Like when I was a kid, we had this big giant toy chest, and I just always remember having baseball cards in there, you know.
Yep.
And but it wasn't until 1986. But you know, I've always had cards, but 1986 was the year where my cousin taught me like, look at the numbers in the bag. It has 792 cards. You gotta get, you know.
Yeah.
That's when, that's when the I think where it kind of clicked in, and I've been stuck in that ever since. Like all I want to do is put together sets.
Right.
You know, that was the
Right.
first thing I learned about baseball cards. You know, besides that they're pictures, was like, oh, they have numbers. They make so many. You got to get them all.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And since then, so I'm still a stick collector to this day. You know.
Well, we can see it right behind you, man. I mean,
Yeah.
right in the rear view is how many sets? I mean, you might even know how many sets you have. How many sets? How many completed sets do you have in your collection?
I
Do you
actually
know?
don't know how many because I keep getting some, and I
Right.
still have a lot incomplete that I've been putting in binders. Not all my sets are in binders yet. I still have boxes I need to throw away.
Yeah.
But it's like I ran out of room, so I gotta put another shelf in here. But I really don't know. I mean, my first goal was to complete all the '80s tops,
Yep.
and then I did that. So then I completed all the '80s Donruss and all the '80s Fleer baseball. So then after that, I just started going after any set I could find. You know, if I find a
Wow.
starter set, a binder that's missing 50 cards, 100 cards, I'll buy it
Yep.
and finish putting it together.
That's
But I
awesome.
bought like a football. I actually bought like a whole football set, like a bunch of sets,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do with them. You know, and to me, that's my whole goal is most of my sets I put together by hand or I buy them incomplete and I
Yep.
finish them.
Yep.
That's like I don't know if that's my dopamine,
Yeah.
but every time I complete a set, it's just like, you know,
You accomplishment. Yeah, you accomplished
yeah,
something.
you know,
Gives you
gangrene starts running down my leg every time, every set I put together, man. And yeah, to me, that I love that feeling, you know, and that's
Right.
why I collect is that feeling right there. You know what I mean?
So
And I
you
get it every time I complete a set.
So you would say, Pepino Man, you would say that you're more of a you're more of a your collection side is obviously more set driven, set building, and more hand building, and like you said, doing it yourself. Is there certain players, you know, being a California guy, kind of live in LA? I think probably what's your team, the Dodgers, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely the Dodgers.
And you have a couple. Is there any players that you PC? You want to touch on maybe Corey Seager?
IPC, I like the whole term, the PC. Like when I got back into the hobby,
Yep.
I think I spent like the first 5, 7 years not wanting to ask what PC means.
Right.
Like I was on Instagram and Facebook way before YouTube,
Yeah.
and I would see people always write, "Oh, my PC cards," and I would be like, I have no idea what that meant, until I got on YouTube.
Right.
Until I got on YouTube and like Baseball Card Junkies TV, they were making and so was this guy Radicards. They were making like videos of like telling you, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
explaining to you what everything was, and man, and from them I learned so much, man, about how much the hobby has changed,
Yeah.
and that's where my collecting habits changed. I mean, once I learned what PC means, oh, personal collection, and that to me it doesn't fit me.
Right.
I guess what I'm trying to get at
Yeah.
is I don't sell cards. I'll trade. Like I like to trade sets, like pieces of sets to
Yep.
complete a set. But I don't sell any cards. I have no plans of getting rid of them. I don't want to trade anything. But if someone needs a card that I have value,
Yeah.
if it makes them happier, then it makes me.
Yeah.
I'll work it out. But I don't have. None of my cards have any idea, any plans for them to go away or sell, nothing.
Right.
So PC, I guess everything is PC to me. Every single card I buy,
Yeah.
I have no intention of ever letting go.
And it's cool to hear, you know what? And that's the first time, and that's your definition of PC, which is perfect, because I think for anybody and everybody out there, everybody's definition or how they see PC is differently. That's the first time I've heard of someone, and it's cool and it's unique of yourself to say, hey man, my PC is just everything I have. I don't, like you said, you don't sell anything. You're not looking to get rid of anything unless, like you said, you could make somebody happy or buy a card that they really need or want. I want to ask you something, though. So, an LA guy, California, Dodgers is probably like one of your main big teams. I think you have a special place in your heart for Aaron Judge. Am I mistaken?
Well, let's just say it's WWE. You know what I mean? I love baseball and I appreciate great players, and Aaron Judge is a great player.
Yep.
But it was one of those things in a video that I made.
Yep.
Where I pulled I forgot, I think it was with Jerome Yankees cards. We were having a competition of pulling. No, it wasn't him because he doesn't really buy packs back then. But with somebody, I was having a contest of who could pull more Aaron Judges or Cody Bellingers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wanted the Bellingers. So during that contest, every time I pull a Judge, I was disappointed, like, oh, because it counted against me. It was a contest that I was having.
Yeah.
So then, after that, people expected me to like, oh, you hate Aaron Judge, Judge Judy. Everybody went along with it, so I went along with it.
Right. Right.
But so like, it's like Pepino Man on YouTube is kind of a persona. I mean, a lot of it is me. It is me.
Yeah.
But some of the things like say that, like hating Aaron Judge. I don't hate Aaron Judge. That's the persona.
Yeah.
But I've had to give away. I remember when I first pulled my first Aaron Judge, what's that called? Redemption card.
Yeah.
That was my first redemption I had ever pulled.
Oh,
and
awesome.
I was excited. Deep down inside, I was excited, but I had to pretend I was disappointed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
With the Pepino persona.
Right.
I ended up having to give it away.
Nice. I want to go back real quick too, because like you talking about the PC and that's pretty much everything you have. What do you personally, is there a certain set or a certain card or cards that you have in your whole collection that is by far over superior, bar none, to anything else? Like if you had to give up all your cards, is there one particular set, but you could keep one set or one card or whatever? Is there what out of your collection would that actually be? Do you know?
It would probably be my 53 mantle.
Oh wow.
That's probably just the most expensive one I have, but not only that, my dream card is the 52 mantle.
Right.
So that's the closest that I can get to it is the 53.
Right.
That price for it. You always have to act your wage.
Yeah.
So as much as I want the 52 mantle, it's not something I'm pursuing. It's like, it's out of my range. I'm happy without it.
Right.
I'm happy with my 53. And the 53, it's a baseball card. It's just a piece of cardboard,
Yep.
but it's worth like $1,500.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I got it on layaway, and I used money from my bonus from the Dodgers when they went to the World Series. I used my bonus money to buy it, and I
Wow.
remember I remember the whole time that I was buying it. As bad as this sounds, I wanted to go buy it first and then tell my wife later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put myself in that situation. I'm like, forgiveness is better than asking them permission. However
Right.
that saying goes.
Yeah.
Well, I went, I put it on layaway. I put half of it down, and then I waited another week, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. Went, put the other half, pulled it out, and the whole time I was thinking of how am I gonna tell my wife? How am I
Right.
gonna tell her that I just bought a $1,500 card? She's gonna
Right.
kill me.
Right.
And so I remember, and at the time, and I had a couple other cards that were some modern cards, and they were like really shiny and diamondy.
Yeah.
But they were like $1. They were from like the dollar bin. I bought like 10 cards from the dollar bin. And so when I get home, I leave it on the table, and I'm just stressing out, like, how am I gonna tell her? How am I gonna tell her? And I had the other cards there that are worth like $1. And she comes home and she sees it and she goes up to it, and I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen right here? It's gonna go down. And she's and she picks up like the Jeff Bagwell, diamond card that's like 25 cents.
Yeah.
How much did this cost? She looked at the Mickey Mantle like it's worth $1 or worthless. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's the best card if I
Yeah.
think. But it's amazing how if you don't know about baseball cards, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
She right away her eyes went straight towards that Jeff Bagwell 50-cent card. Like how much is this? Like to her that looked expensive.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the 53 man to her looked like a 10-cent card.
It's funny you say like you'd pick the 53 mantle, and obviously that's a stellar card. And I just want to go on more of the joke side here because we got Pepino Man here. But it seems like there's a common theme here. We got a lot of Yankees. A lot of Yankee names being brought up. Is it maybe not just a well, obviously Mantle, one of the best ever, right? On the card side too. I mean, I suppose we got to give you that. But I mean, I'm almost wondering if there's any other Yankees we don't maybe know about because we got Mantle and we got Judge. Is there any other Yankees that are in the realm of the favorites or players for
Oh yeah.
Pepino Man?
I mean, hands down, the Yankees is the greatest organization in baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's one thing about me is I don't consider myself a purist, but I kind of like admire them in
Yeah.
a way from afar.
Yep.
And I try to picture that. Like I wasn't a fan of the steroid era at all.
Yeah.
Uh, but I gotta if you just talk about baseball and you ask anybody what's the greatest franchise, it's always going to be the Yankees.
Right. Right.
And I believe the Dodgers are maybe better modernly, but historically the Yankees
Yeah.
easy. And I was just gonna make a video for Ray from Philly, and and I have a Luke Gehrig card right here on my shelf, and I was gonna make a joke on it. Like every single time that I write Luke Gehrig, I gotta go look at my card that's on my shelf to make sure the spelling is right.
Right.
Every time I've written that name 100 times,
Right.
and for whatever reason, Gehrig, it just doesn't look right. When I spell it out first, I always gotta go to my card just to double check myself.
100%.
That I spelled Gehrig right.
One
But
thing.
yeah, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Babe Ruth, it's
So
you
one
can.
thing I want to ask you about, because there is a lot of people, and I think I've probably even personally said this myself when we're talking about like the Yankees, and like you said, yeah, the greatest baseball organization ever. But when people bring up like when they're debating who's greatest of all times, whatever, and it's very hard to debate against that. But when people bring up the thoughts of the Yankees go after, they always go by whoever beats them, right? It's just like after last year, they go and they buy Garrett Cole. Like they get him off the thing, and they're utilizing their money as a big market team. But I mean, what are your thoughts on that as far as like, Yankees being one of those big teams that do that? It seems like almost year after year. They go and they get whoever, it's the thing. If you can't beat them, get them, right? But do you feel like that takes a little bit away, with them just having that big market and all that money and just, okay, well, the guys that beat me here, I'm going to go pick them up year after year after year. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Um, it sucks, but it is what it is, and more power to them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's what I say. Yeah, it's sometimes. I mean, but they were really bad in the '90s, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
they sucked.
Yeah.
So they had their bad years,
Right.
But and right now they're, you know, my whole dream, my whole life has been to go to a Dodgers World Series with the Yankees, Dodgers Yankees World Series.
Yeah.
I used to read a lot of books and the history between the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series,
Right.
because they're from opposite leagues is big,
Yeah.
and that's always been my dream is to see a Dodgers Yankees World Series. And I was really thinking this is the year that was going to happen. Like, they're the best in their league, and we're the best in our league. We're going to meet up. It's
Right.
going to happen. It's destiny.
Right.
And, it was probably destiny last year, but the Astros took that away from us.
Oh yeah, cheating bastards. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, they got away with it.
So we have touched on a lot about the Dodgers, about the Yankees. You're obviously, California. So we haven't really touched on what exactly it is you do, like your job, because I think you're affiliated somehow, right, with the work you do or who you work for. Who exactly does Pepino Man work for, and what do you do?
Well, I work full time at USC, the University of Southern California, the team leader for the athletic fields there. So I'm in charge of or at least the daily work routine on the football field, baseball field, soccer, the lacrosse, our golf green, and everything, the tennis, the pool, the track and field.
Yeah.
That's where I work every day, full time. And then I'm on the game staff, which means I work every game for the Dodgers. And I've been working at Dodger Stadium longer than at USC actually, but I only work there during the games or special events.
Okay. So how did Pepino Man land a job with the Dodgers, working the games?
In the car right now.
How did Pepino Man land the job working for the Dodgers?
I was uh, I was going to school. I was working at a golf course,
Uh-huh.
and the superintendent there told me I got another job at another golf course, paid twice as much. I was getting $7 at this golf course I was working at, and I got a job with the city. Already had a start date, and they were going to start me at 14 something, double,
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
And he convinced me to stay there, and that they would pay for me. They would pay for my college to be a golf course superintendent. He wanted me to be his assistant.
Yep.
So they started paying me for go to school. I was going to school to be a golf course superintendent. And in one of my classes, we had a field trip. We had all these field trips to horse tracks, football fields, baseball fields. We go to all these NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
And when I went to Dodger Stadium, I was like, I want to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Screw the golf course. I want to work at Dodger Stadium. And so I changed my major from golf to sports turf manager. And I joined this club called the STMA, the Sports Turf Managers Association. And all the NFL guys, all the groundskeepers from MLB, from MLS, from everywhere. They're we have these conferences, huge conferences,
Yeah.
where everybody meets up. So I know a lot of those guys, and but at the time, I was still going to school, and I quit working at the golf course. To work at a baseball complex. So I had to pay for my school again, and they asked me to write an essay for the scholarship. So
Yeah.
For the scholarship, you had to write an essay of where you see yourself in 10 years. That was the whole thing of the scholarship. So I wrote my essay, and I won. And so one of the judges was David Miller, the head groundskeeper for the Boston Red Sox.
Uh-huh.
So he gives me a call on my phone, and he tells me, "Hey, you won unanimously because the question was where you see yourself in 10 years, and everybody else, I guess, wrote themselves like, oh, I'm gonna be like that main guy. I'm gonna be at the very top, and I was the only one that's like, well, I'll probably still be learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like the only one that was most humble.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, you were the only one who was realistic. Everybody thought they could be, the head groundskeeper, like just take our jobs, and as soon as they graduate.
Yeah.
And so he offered me a job working for the Boston Red Sox in 2004.
Wow.
So I went through all the motions, but they were gonna pay me like $8.50 an hour, and I already had a family going, and there
Yep.
was no way that I could handle that financially because I had to pay rent over there and all this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I can't afford it. There's no
Right.
way. It's not gonna be able to happen. So he
Right.
said, all right. He's like, well, my friend Larry DeVito, he's a head groundskeeper assistant at Dodge Stadium. Want me to refer you to him, see if he needs anybody? And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. And then the next day, I got a call from the guys at Dodger Stadium. It's like, hey, I'm looking for somebody. You got referred to me, and I was like, yeah, you got, and
Wow.
that's what happened.
Wow. And now you've been there how long? With you work with the Dodgers for how long? How many years?
16 years.
16 years. So, do you, as working for the Dodgers, I mean, being that having that affiliation with the stadiums and stuff, I mean, do you get, is there, I know you have to work the games, like every game for like the Dodgers, but do you get like special, is there special things you guys get, like tickets to like other things, like events, if there's concerts at some of the stadiums or the Dodgers stadium or something else going on? Do you get like any special treatment for working for them, or are they just pretty much you're paying full price, or you get it however you get it?
Well, let me put it to you this way: every time uh, the Dodgers change ownership,
Yep.
benefits and special treatment gets lesser and lesser. And I think right now we practically get nothing.
So what
But
was
when
it when
I
you first started? What was it
yeah, when
like?
I first started, we got 4 tickets for every game.
Wow.
We got every single giveaway, every bobblehead, every bat, every giveaway. Uh, always were able to go to get free tickets, leftover tickets for any concert or whatever. And back then, when I first started, like when players would break bats or throw away their gloves, everything
Yep.
went in the trash. And so after the game, everybody always ran to the trash can,
Right?
everybody. I had a bunch of bats, broken bats, and gloves. That like a lot of there's every once in a while you get batters who are superstitious that every time they strike out, they throw their batting gloves away
Right.
and get a new one.
Yep.
So at first I had a pretty big collection of memorabilia going on, and I started giving everything away.
Yeah.
Because it seemed at the time, it seemed like it was going to be like that forever. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And then when I think they struck a deal with Steiner,
Yep.
and so after that, everything, every foul ball, every broken bat, every torn glove goes straight to the authenticator, and they sell it.
Oh. Yep.
So that went away.
Oh man. So obviously we're on here. I brought up that you have a YouTube channel, and again I said the description's in the link below. I actually even put it on Twitter when I posted this morning about it, so you guys could check out if you didn't know him. But when did Pepino Man decide that, you know what, I want to mess around with YouTube? I want to start a YouTube channel. Like how did that come about, and when did that start?
Well, as far as what I do and these little skits I make or
Yeah.
whatever, I've been doing that forever. I remember when I was in junior high, this kid had like a tape recorder. It worked on tape, but it would play like twice as fast, and it would make black and white audio that you could hook up to your TV. So
Yeah.
I would make music videos, like I would make like a Too Short the Rapper video where I take the shoes to your knees,
Yeah.
and I would do all these crazy videos. And that stopped one day because I did a video. I don't know if you remember that one song. It was really popular when I was in high school. That. You
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yep. Na,
know, and
na,
it's just
na,
got caught
na,
in your
na,
head.
na,
I made
na,
a,
na.
I dressed like a girl because I had my little sister's clothes. You know what I mean? They were all tight on me, and I put them on, and I made a video. But so my mom saw it and she freaked out. You know what I mean? Because she sees her 15,
Right.
14-year-old son dressed like a
Is
woman.
he coming
And,
out of the closet?
oh, yeah, that's exactly what she thought. And like she freaked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to get rid of that machine. I promised her never to do that again.
But
And then like I was one of the last people to have social media, I remember, but like I told you when I was in the STMA, I got voted president of the LA Basin chapter. So they told me I had to get a Facebook so I can run the Facebook page that,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
that the group has.
Yep.
So I got on Facebook, and I remember I got addicted to Farmville. Oh man, I was a Farmville addict when I first got on Facebook. I mean, I would go to at 2 in the morning. I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I would have to go to to a Starbucks and park
Yeah.
in the parking lot. I got 2 in the morning to harvest my turnips and stuff. But anyways, so I got on Facebook and I made a couple videos for Facebook. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And nothing big, but back then they were all groundskeeper related. You know, they were all at my work. You know,
Yeah.
me ghost riding the lawnmowers and running next to the tractor while it's running. You know, I was doing all things at work. And after a while, I told like a couple of groundskeepers, and I got pretty popular in the groundskeeper world. People watching my Facebook videos.
Yeah.
But we went to I remember it was in Daytona, Florida. We had a conference, and my boss was with me, and all these guys started telling him, "Hey, have you seen his videos? You know, this is way before Pepino Man, so he got
Yeah.
back. So there and so my boss was like, "No, I don't know about it. You have a Facebook, Caesar?" You know, I was like,
Yeah.
They watched my videos, and let's just say that didn't go so well. You know what I
Oh.
mean? It didn't go
Yeah.
over so good.
Yeah.
Like basically, I'm doing OSHA violations. You
Right.
know, when you want
Right.
to put it in legal terms. So I
Right.
stopped doing it on Facebook, and then my friend told me, like, "Oh, do it on Instagram." So I went on Instagram, and then my main character on Instagram, like the whole, all these wrestling masks, I started buying them more when I was on Instagram because one of the first groups I joined was a group called the Masked Golfers of Instagram, and it
Okay.
was all these millionaire dudes from Japan who go around their golf course playing in wrestling masks.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so I asked, I messaged one of the guys. I was like, "Oh man, your group is so cool and this and that." He's like, "Hey, we watched some of your videos. You think you could do that? You know, playing golf?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I wear my wrestling mask, and then I would start buying more. So I already had these masks years ago, because I would do videos of me golfing, hanging from a tree, doing trick shots, like
Yeah.
my wrestling mask on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then from there, I created Darth Cholo, which was me dressed as Darth Vader
Yeah.
doing stunts or whatever. But then again, right there, the baseball coach and the baseball team found out about it, and they wanted a. This was when what was that thing called? The Harlem Shuffle was really big. You
Yes.
remember that?
Yep. Yep.
So I had asked the baseball coach if we could do a Harlem Shuffle,
Yeah.
and he looked into it. He looked into it, and he was like all for it. But then, like when he saw some of my stuff that I was doing on the baseball field, he's like, you shouldn't be doing that. So I was like, all right, now I gotta find a new avenue. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So then I went on YouTube, and when I got on YouTube, most of my first videos were just baseball card related because
Yeah.
I was watching YouTube for like about 2 or 3 years before I started making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like Radic Cards and all these old school YouTubers where all they did was show cards. You
Yeah.
know, there was no shenanigans,
Right.
no nothing. It was just people talking.
Right.
And that's all I wanted to do. But I did that for like about a month, and I was up to like 7 subscribers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, I remember. Then I made these videos with me. I said I'm gonna do what I was doing on Instagram, and I put on my Darth Vader mask, and I was saying Darth Vader trying to at the Columbine, trying to get back into the NFL. And I was
Right.
doing like NFL drills, in my Darth Vader helmet.
Yeah.
And so my views went up. You know what I mean? A little bit
yeah.
on that one.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, from there is like I kept it on, and then from there, that's when Pepino Man, the persona, came along, where people would suggest this. Like almost everything I do is because somebody suggested it to me, or
Right.
like,
Right.
it's a Pepino Man is a total YouTube creation. Take
Yeah.
it from here, from there.
Yeah. And it's like you've even said too, the persona, and it's like you don't really hate Aaron Judge, but you gotta just act on it. Like when you pull an Aaron Judge, you gotta act like you hate him, but deep down inside, you really respect the guy and you really love the guy. And a lot of your different little the whatever, we're not gonna say it, but the crew, the little Dick Man crew or whatever it is, and all that stuff. I mean, it's just all in fun. It's the Pepino Man persona, and it's what makes it fun. And it's like what I said before. Anybody coming on here to watch this tonight, this particular interview with how your personality is as humorous and just fun, you got to really bring your humorous and fun side to this interview to understand Pepino Man. And I think what's really awesome and what's cool, and like I've always told you, Pepino Man, I respect you. When I need like a good pick me up, and if you've just done a video or whatever, I go to look to see if you've done a video, and I watch that to pick myself up, to get a laugh, because of what you do. Like, and I don't know if you know that or not, but you do have a big impact on probably more people than just me when I need somewhere to go to get a good laugh. And I know that's what you're trying to do is entertain and make people laugh. So yeah, go ahead.
I get reminded of that every year in a way.
Yeah.
Like say when I'm not busy, I average making a video or two a day.
Yep.
But once the Dodger season starts and I'm working 2 jobs a day and I don't make any videos,
yeah,
like people start checking up on me.
Yeah.
Hey, are you okay? You haven't made a video in 2 days. What's going on?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's when I start hearing people like, I'll get messages like, hey, I hope you're doing fine. You brighten up my days. That's when I found out like how much,
an impact you have.
Doing with people sometimes,
Yes.
And it's almost like a responsibility.
Yep.
The Pepino Man is almost a responsibility. That's why I don't do rant videos. I try not to do anything negative.
Right.
I am a human being,
right.
Nobody agrees with everybody 100%.
Right.
But I try not to express any views that are controversial at all, because that's not what people are coming to me for. You know what I mean? They're coming to me for a good laugh. I gotta be the last person to do anything political or anything like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so I mean, again, like I'm saying, like you have an impact on me, and hopefully people who haven't known you until today have gotten to know you a little bit better and actually check it out, and I think they'll all see kind of what I'm talking about if they haven't seen it firsthand for themselves. And I'm sure anybody in the chat right now, most of you have seen him or know who he is, and I'm sure are claiming the fame and the same types of things. So again, what?
Real quick.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking about the other day. I've been cleaning out my shed in my garage.
Yeah.
And I have like 2 bags of all this stuff that it takes to be Pepino Man. All the masks,
well, hey, I got the hair on for you today. I kind of had to flip the switch on the Pepino Man. I got the Dodger hat with the little long hair, the little Joe Dirt look, whatever it is. I don't know what I'm coming with, but I'm coming with something, Pepino. Let's go. But yeah, go ahead. You cleaning out all your stuff and you found all of it?
Yeah. Before, like I told you, I used to do a lot of my stuff at work.
Uh-huh.
So I used to carry out this bag full of costumes in my car.
Yeah.
And I had this friend who was a drug dealer, right? And he had these 2 giant, huge on steroid, pit
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they were like the meanest things you've ever seen. And so what I started doing is I started getting like treats, dog treats and jerkies and stuff.
Yep.
And so every time I go over there, his dogs are like run up to the fence with tails wagging, and they're always, so I always had these candies and treats for them.
Yep.
And he hated that. He absolutely hated that.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, man, my dog's supposed to be killers,
Right. You turn into lovers.
Yeah. But my wife, like she told me, she's like, you need to take, she's I don't want that stuff in the house. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but I'm afraid you're gonna get pulled over by the cops. Like how are you gonna explain?
Right.
You're a kidnapper. You have all this candy and all these costumes,
Yes. Right. Yeah, like a crazy pedo. I'm gonna try to dress up and act as a kid, and I got candy for you. One of the videos I think that's classic from Pepino Man is like when you take the trip to go get the coffee, and you would switch up the costume about every, like you said, all the costumes in your car, you'd switch up the costume every 5 minutes, whatever. You had the guitar, the blow up guitar, the wigs. I mean, you just had everything going for you. I still remember I was about crying, I think, when I was watching that video. It was so hilarious. And that's what Pepino brings, man. That's what his channel's all about. It's all about having humor and like you said, you I guess you even saying now, kind of an impact. People checking up on you when you don't make videos, People are looking for your content. They're looking for you to put another video out or go live and do something and share something. Is there anything else like that you want to touch on while you're here? Anything you want to tell everybody about yourself? Or, I mean, the floor is kind of yours right now towards the end here.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know. You could talk a little bit of YouTube.
Yeah.
Uh, it's hard to.
No, I get it, man. It's like, yeah. So again, I don't think you ever touched on exactly. Do you remember like what year you started your YouTube channel, like Pepino Man?
I started making videos 3 years ago. If you go back to my history, my oldest video is 3 years.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, like I told you, I was watching YouTube for like about 2 to 3 years before that. And at that time, I was asking my favorite YouTubers. Like, I don't do Twitter, but I
Yeah.
opened up a Twitter account just because, like, people like Tan Man,
Yep.
Tan Man Baseball, that Consejo Collector, Nate,
Yep.
the other people would start leaving their other social medias that I didn't have. So I would open up a Twitter just to message him and then delete it. But all these guys were telling me that I needed a computer or that I needed a what's that Apple laptop thing?
Yes.
iPad.
iMac or iPad.
So
Yep.
I was like, so I was like, all right, now I'm gonna have to try to buy a computer so I can make videos. And so it took me 2 to 3 years to figure out that I could make a video through my phone, and that was just thanks to Nate. Nate from Baseball Card Junkies. He was the first person to tell me I do mine from my phone, and I was like, oh, do you? Oh, and then I did it, and it was during the playoffs, the 2015 playoffs or something.
Yep.
So I had that video on my phone, and that's the first thing I posted was, me high-fiving Yasiel Puig and Gonzalez and Kershaw as they're running by me.
Yeah.
That was just like a test to see if it works. And I was like, oh, it works.
Yeah.
And then I started making videos.
So.
But my videos at first,
Yep.
when I was living in my old house, I would go to my, when we first moved in, we were renting a house, and they had this extra room, but it was like outdoorsy. It was like a really ghetto outdoor room. It was cold in there. And so my wife was like, you can have that for your card room. You could put all your stuff in here, because at that time I had a lot of Star Wars, a lot of Hot Wheels. I had more of my other collections, RC cards, than I did baseball cards at that time.
Wow.
Once I moved into my house and I set up that room and I started making, and Pepino Man was born.
Yeah.
My collection grew like 10 times faster than it ever did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once the packages start coming in, and that's the thing. It was like to the point where I'm telling people, stop sending me stuff. I really have nowhere to put it anymore.
All right. I got something for you here you could touch on in a story you could tell. I looked over chat a little bit. I caught something because I kept seeing my name added and highlighted. We want you to tell the story about the time the guy broke into your car and stole your book bag.
Oh, yeah. That tweaker dude.
Yeah, tell that story.
I had this backpack that I actually just pulled out the other day when I was cleaning out my garage. I had this backpack that had holes in it, right? And every day that I go to Dodger Stadium, when I walk out of the bullpen, I would grab Red Bulls, gum, sunflower seeds. I just grabbed all kinds of stuff every time. And I never drink Red Bulls. I don't drink energy drinks at all. Never have.
Yeah.
Drank one time, and it gave me the shit, so I never drank them again. But I would take them because a lot of my friends at the time used to do it with their vodka or something,
Yep.
So I would give it to them. A lot of people wanted them, so I was taking it for them. But I had these double bubble gums, and every day I have a handful of them, and I would throw them in the backpack. And normally I would see them in the back of my car every day because of the hole, And so one day it was inside, my car was parked in my driveway, and I'm inside my card room. And I hear something outside, right? So I'm like, I heard something. This was like really early in the morning, like 6 a.m. The sun was already coming out.
Yeah.
So I run out there, and there's like some dude next to my car, and he's acting like he's taking a piss, And I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just taking a leak, man. Sorry, man, I had to go really bad, And his bike was in the driveway, and I was like, all right, man, just don't do that shit again, you know?
Yeah.
And I went back in my house, and I was in my card room, and I was watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And then I hear something again, right? So I run out there, like I heard my car door close, you know? So I
Yeah.
run out there, and I don't see nobody, you know? I don't see anything, but the bike was still in the driveway. And I'm like, huh. And then I was like, and I looked at my car, and I didn't notice my bag was gone. I just didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Like I looked at my car, and I'm like, huh, whatever. So I started walking back in my house, and then when I get in my room, I look out the side to the backyard, and I see a tray of bubble gum. I see a trail of bubble gum, and I was like, oh, what the hell? So I run
Right?
to my car, and I was like, I said my
You're,
backpack. Oh
yeah.
shit! And so oh man, so the well, basically that backyard leads to another street. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, he's got to be on that street. I go on his bike, which is like a shitty ass bike, and I'm hauling ass, man, and I'm barefoot, and I'm hauling ass, go all the way around the block, like towards my backyard, and then and I don't see him, and I'm looking around, like shit, where'd he go? And then I see a bubble gum. Then I
Yep.
see another bubble gum. And then I see it go down this alley that goes to the back of that goes towards these apartments.
Yep.
And sure enough, I see him right there throwing my backpack into a dumpster. There was a dumpster. That's why I couldn't see him. He was in the front of the dumpster.
Yep.
And he throws my backpack in the dumpster, and he was putting some gum in his pants, you know? And then I said, like, hey, man, that's my backpack, this and that. And he's like, no, it's not. That's my backpack. And I was like, what? And so I reach in there, and I could grab the backpack, and I pull it out, and like almost everything is out of there. Like he literally threw everything out one at a time.
Yeah.
And I remember I had my Dodgers paycheck in there too. That's why I was like, I was a dire need. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even have gone. But I had my check. And so I look in the trash can, and that's like I remember I had my 1969 Mickey Mantle, my 53 Topps Pee Wee Reese, my Sandy Koufax rookie, because I was taking them to work at Dodger Stadium, because I was always the last one to leave Dodger Stadium at that time. Like I would be there later than anybody else. There's a lot of times when I'm like, look around, I'm the only person there.
Wow.
So I would go to third base, and take pictures. I go to the mound, put my Sandy Koufax on the mound and take a picture. This was on Instagram.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing YouTube back then. So I look in, and I remember all that. So I told him, you better go in there and take that shit out.
Yeah.
And then he was like, fuck you, I ain't going in there. I was like, I'm gonna fuck you up, And he jumped in there. And that's when he started like boom, my 69 Topps Nolan Ryan, that I just bought for my set. He started bringing everything, and then my Dodger check, and then I was like, and I'm looking in there pointing out, hey, there's, give me that coin right there. Give me that sunflower seed bag. And so he gives me everything. And then he jumps out, and then I was like, and then I just start walking away. And then I thought it was over, and he just tells me something like, hey, man, are you the one that's selling crack to my sister? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I think you're the one selling that to my sister. I'm like, what the hell up? And then I grabbed his bike, and then I tossed it. And then I walked all the way back home barefoot.
Jesus. So if it wasn't for the hole in the bag and the bubblegum trails, you would have never probably found the way back. So it was a good thing that happened. That's an awesome story. The card hobbyist wants to know, how many times have you hurt yourself making videos or injured yourself? The card hobbyist asks. How many times has Pepino Man injured himself making videos?
Not very often. I think there's one that I made. Here. I have this, those medieval balls that have all those spikes?
Yeah.
It's like hanging on a chain?
Yeah.
I made a video destroying a fruit, like a melon with it. So I destroyed the melon, but it bounced back, and it hit my hand. Oh man. I made all kinds of big old holes in my hand.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Another time when I was doing a Batman video, I was dressed as Batman, and I don't know if you guys ever seen those things that go on your feet for aerofying. They have these long ass nails. They look like the kiss boots.
Yeah.
But it has like 12, 4-inch nails on the bottom of the sole.
Yeah.
And I was making a video called Batman. Batman may have like all the best toys, but his gardening tools suck. You know what I mean? And I was walking around doing that, and then my wife drove by, and she hates Pepino Man, she hates me doing videos.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
She hates me. So, like, even at home, most of my quiet videos is because she might be around.
Right.
If I'm being loud, it's because there's nobody home. I can only get loud when there's nobody home.
Right.
Basically. So she drives by and I'm like, oh shit, and I turn around and I start running. Those things fell off my foot, landed on the floor, nails up, and I stepped on it. And
Oh.
I had like 8 nail marks in my feet. Like the nails went in, I guess.
Ouch.
And I was, and I remember I was doing the Dodger homestand, so I had to go to work, and every step hurt. Every
Oh.
step hurt. And not that
Man.
long ago, when I was doing, I think that's why I don't do the copy runs anymore. The
Oh yeah.
Defness45 copy runs.
Right.
I was ghost riding my car. I got out of my car. I put the camera in the center console. I put my camera in the center console. And I jump out the car and I start dancing. And dude, I tore my calf.
Oh,
I tore my calf dancing in the middle of the street. And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm grabbing my calf. Oh shit. And there goes my car taking off. And and I'm all gippy trying to catch my car. And this was all live. This was
That's
all
content though, man. That's gotta have the view up to wahoo. Like that's what people are looking for. That crazy thing that happens that wasn't even planned. Like people try to plan content. The unplanned content that's crazy like that is what goes viral and gets the crazy views. You got a guy grabbing his cab in his car going down the street. He's ghost riding.
That's the thing is I rarely ever post my live videos because my live videos are more raw, the real me.
Yeah.
And I get crazy and I get loud. But just like I said about what happened on Instagram and what happened on Facebook, I don't want my superiors to see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Certain stuff is like, just for my well-being, I can't upload it. You know what I mean?
No, I get it, man. I get it. God, so much damn fun. And I had actually the pleasure of meeting you at the Chicago last year. Are you going to plan to attend? I don't think a lot of people are going this year, Atlantic City, even if it does happen. I don't think it's going to. But are you going to plan to go back to Chicago the following year for the National?
I basically, to this day right now, my airplane is still booked. My hotel.
Oh, for AC it's booked? For AC
I'm not going. But I'm not going.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But how about Chicago the following year?
Hopefully I could transfer that to Chicago.
Right. Yeah, and I'm going to say, man, it was a pleasure meeting you at the National. Wish we would have been able to hang out more, but I think we all need to make it an apparent deal, as many people that come and go for Chicago, to all hang out a little bit longer and actually, like, I know you guys had the YouTube party, and I was with my buddy Lance and them that I went with, and we went to go see Coker and some of the other guys that weren't going to the party too, so it kind of got crossed. But we definitely got to make it apparent to all hang out a little bit more and actually have some fun in the night or something. So Ron Fig says he's going to AC regardless. He's still going, and regardless whether it's on or it's not on. So. But yeah,
I think Ron Fig had the virus and survived, right? So he has nothing to worry about.
Right, exactly. You made it through. You survived. You ain't got to worry again. Anything else you want to touch on, man? We've hit about that hour mark or a little bit over. It's typically the time we go on these things. But is there anything else? I mean, we can go as long as you want. Is there anything else you want to touch on, or do you think we hit her pretty good?
Yeah, I think we hit her pretty good. I mean, I'll answer any questions, but. This I didn't think about.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing, I was gonna go off questions.
Yeah, and that's what I did. That's what I did off the cuff, pretty much. Asking about your childhood, growing up. That's what we covered, all that. And
I mean, I'll answer anything if anybody wants to know anything.
You guys want to do a few minute Q&A or a little while? We'll see how it goes, and then, I mean, we can go as long as y'all want to go. So any Q&A, any questions for Pepino Man while he's on here? I'll be in Chi-Town. A lot of people saying Chicago for sure. Yeah, we all gotta go. Starts dancing. I'm going to AC. Oh yeah, here's the thing too. So shiny. So like, was that just something that just came out of your mouth one time when you saw a shiny card, or how did that come about?
When I first got back into the hobby,
Yeah.
I was only thing I cared about was sets.
Yeah.
All I cared about was sets and vintage. That's
Yep.
all I was buying, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And then once I got on YouTube and I started watching all these, like I hated shiny cards. I
Yeah.
hated them. I was old school. I was old school. I only wanted cardboard. I used to have this hashtag cardboard over shine,
Yeah.
which I never used again. But that was my whole thing.
Yeah.
Cardboard over shine. I was like, I prefer vintage. I hate modern cards. Ah, boo. I used
Yeah.
to call them the Elton John cards. I go, I'm not a fan of the Elton John cards. I'm just not, you know.
You're right.
I just wasn't into the shine. And then somebody in a package sent me a shiny card, and kind of like you act, I don't want to act negative, and I was like, oh, I hate shiny cards. I just said like sarcastic, oh, shiny card.
Yeah.
And my friend told me that his kid is, oh, my kid says that nonstop now. His teacher even asked me, why does he say that? He
Yeah.
goes around saying, shiny, so shiny, they're so shiny. And so after that, that's when I started doing it.
I gotcha. Dent, our boy Dent, Mr. Friday the 13th wants to know, I'd like to know where he got the cat mask.
At Target, right after the day after Halloween, for $4.
Damn, steal of a deal. Abel in Vegas wants to know, Pepino, what do you know of Cody Jose? Hoese, Jose. He's a prospect, the Dodgers organization. You know anything about him or
I
no?
haven't heard too much. I haven't heard too much from him. You know what I mean? He's just one of the guys I haven't heard too much of. We have so many youth guys are at the top. It's like in the organization, I don't even pay too much attention to the people in the farm system.
Right, right. Airtime wants to know, Thong or Commando?
Depends on the situation. Who I'm with, where I'm
Right,
at.
right. All right. What about we brought up Corey Seager earlier. What about Corey Seager?
The Corey Seager, the way that started is when I was in my Facebook group, we were having a everybody was talking about who their favorite hitter is at the time, and this is when Corey Seager was a rookie.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was coming in a lot. Like normally, I come in an hour before the game starts at Dodger Stadium. That's my normal.
Yeah.
But at that one particular year, the guy who was coming in early quit, and I was coming in at 3 o'clock straight after USC. So I got to watch every. That was part of my job, was just to sit in the dugout and watch TV. You know, and I don't know. I fell in love with Corey Seager's swing. You know what I mean? I got a new appreciation for baseball. Like before, when I was a kid, I was really into history, the baseball history,
Yeah.
old school, into records.
Yep.
I was really big into like record keeping for baseball, and and that all kind of went away in a way with steroids, and then all this stuff. It kind of went away from me.
Yeah.
But I got a renewed love for baseball when I started working for the grounds crew, and my teacher at the time, Larry DeVito, who is now the head groundskeeper for the Minnesota Twins. He's the one that built that
Oh,
stadium.
that's my man, the Twins, baby. Shout out Twins.
Yeah, so he's the main guy there. I was there not that long ago.
Next time you're here, let me know. You got my number now. If you ever come back to Minnesota, you hit me up and let me know ahead of time, and we'll get together. I'll take you out to dinner.
I
and
remember
shit.
asking like, why do all these fire hydrants have things sticking up, antennas?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he taught me. He was like, he used to just stare at BP. You should just stare at it. And then like one day I just asked him like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
I love to look at the swing of the bat, when he hits it, the angle he hits it, how much spin is on the ball. When it hits the grass, I know exactly how it reacts. When it bounces off the dirt, like into reaction, like everything. And after that, I started seeing what he saw. And now I can appreciate looking at bunts, singles, like how the ball reacts. Oh, like, how it spins, and everything. So that's like a newfound love I have for the game now,
That's crazy. Oh gosh, they're getting real comedic here now. Thong or Commando with @Jeff Airtime, the hobbyist asks. And then Airtime says, LOL, hobbyist, we don't want to know. Oh, you guys.
Oh, he does.
You have far too many cars behind. Oh yeah, so Alex B says you have far too many cars behind you, Pepino. He loves
Oh
Hot
yeah.
Wheels, man, and like he said, I think he said even earlier in the interview that the cars and the toys, like the comics cars, or it was the toys more or less. The cars were the bigger thing than even the cards, right?
Yeah.
Until you put together your
Um,
room.
yeah. Under my bed, I have like three giant tubs full of Hot Wheels, all in packages still. You know. Um, I had like 12 RC cars. I was really big into RC. I used to collect bikes. I used to try to have a bike of every type: 10 speed, elf, racing, mountain, 12 speed, 10 speed, whatever. I used to collect bikes. I'm a hoarder. That's all
Yeah,
I can say is I'm a hoarder. But yeah, I have like hundreds of Star Wars figures, from 1977, from the 80s.
yeah,
I have a big giant bag full of them. And before I was on YouTube, when I was in Instagram, there was this group of Star Wars collectors, and what we would have every week was you had to take a selfie, and everything was Star Wars related. So I
yeah.
had a bunch of Star Wars stuff, and every week I would have to rearrange my shelf with Star Wars decorations and
Oh,
take a
wow.
selfie instead of a selfie.
Yeah.
So I had tons, so that motivated me to keep buying more Star Wars stuff, just for the next selfie, you
Right.
know.
Right. Balls says, our boy Balls, Matt Balsley says, Pepino just explained the baseball movement like Rodman and rebounds on The Last Dance. Did you see The Last Dance? Did you watch The
No,
Last
I don't
Dance
have
yet?
cable.
Oh, okay.
I gotta wait till it comes out on DVD.
Do you have... Oh, Alex B asks, do you have a Teddy Ruxpin? A Teddy
Yeah, I
Ruxpin.
do. I have. I was one of those people. Once I stopped collecting cards, I had to fill that void,
Yeah.
and I try to do it with my kids. Like
Oh, did we lose him? You froze for a second.
collecting
Oh, there
Pokemon
you go.
cards with my son. I'll put them into sets.
Yeah. Okay. You're good. You're good. You just froze for a second. I guess one thing I didn't ask you too, the Hot Wheels, the comics, the cards. Is there any other hobbies that you have that or like things you collect outside of that stuff?
Um, shoot. Like say movies.
Yeah, I
I
mean
have
whatever. Like,
tons of
if
movies.
you collect it, if it's something you're like,
LPs. I have a yeah. I have a decent number of LPs, vinyl records also. Um,
here's a
I think
go.
that's enough. There's
Here,
like no room.
here we go. My guy Sterling Wilson. What's been the most rewarding part of being a part of this hobby community? That's a good question. What's the most what's been the most rewarding part of being a part of this hobby community for you?
For me, it has to be the joy that I bring to others. You know, I don't make money, so that's not even an option. I don't do it for views. I don't care about views. I don't promote myself. I don't promote my videos on Facebook or Twitter.
Sure.
It's just not my thing. The only
Right.
thing that I do this for is really to make other people happy. If they can laugh, if they find what I find funny, that's
Yeah.
a reward in itself. You
Yeah.
know?
So, and you kind of touch on that, and it's kind of interesting you say that. Because you probably could be. Are you not monetized on YouTube? You probably could be. Have you ever put it? You just never even attempted to go through to do it,
Oh,
or?
yeah, I qualified to be monetized a long time ago. It has changed. I've been on YouTube since before. You had to have 1,000 views to
Right.
go live. You
Right.
had to
Right.
have,
Right. Right. Right.
when I was like into it for like about 8 months, I think I had qualified,
Yeah.
views and whatever analytic wise to monetize.
So
And
here's
then I remember it changed to 1,000.
so here's a question for you, Pepino. Even if you're not big into like you do it for money, but like kind of what I do it for, like being monetized, the super chats, I what all that money goes back into is is going back to the channel for more things for the viewers and for the people to watch the entertainment. So if you have the ability to do it, why not just do it? And if you don't want to do it to like make money for yourself, you could just put that back into the things you do with your skits. That money could go towards costumes and stuff that you do and different kinds of things that you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, you would just be putting it back into your channel for the people that watch it, that like you and what you do for your entertainment.
Yeah, if I got to that point, like, it's not so much like, oh, I think it. I don't. That's not like as if I think, oh, you're evil if you're
Right.
monetized, or oh, you're the.
Right.
You
No,
know, it's
I
not
know you
like
don't
that.
think that. I know you
It's
don't
just
think
that I
that.
don't do that. No,
Right.
it's just that I don't do that. It's like I don't. I'm not constantly giving away stuff. Like, you know, I give so much props to like what you do, Jimmy Guns, like people that hold auctions. Like, I know that's a lot of work. People who do
Right.
PSA submissions.
Right.
God bless them. I understand what they do is a lot. So people like that, I understand why you would monetize.
Right.
Me, I don't need to be,
I
because I
gotcha.
don't do any of that. I'm not. My channel is not because it's, you know, I need more money to keep doing what I'm doing.
No,
You know,
I know,
I'm not doing anything.
but your
Most of
content.
my costumes I find at work. You know, I get them when after Halloween on a sale. You know,
Right.
I don't put that much. I don't put that much effort into my YouTube channel as people think. A lot of people ask me like, "How long does it take you to make your videos or to edit?" It's like, I don't have editing. All I do is press the pause. Every once in a while, I have to use Flamingo to splice it if I want to change the angle. Like, I
Right.
can't flip my camera. You know
Right.
what I mean? So if I want to flip my camera, I gotta splice it. So that's the only time I use editing. But besides that, all I do is hit the pause. And like I said, normally, if I make like a 10-minute video, it probably took me like 15 minutes, 17 minutes to make it, because I do it all in a hurry. You know,
But
people ask me like, how do you script it? I was like, I don't have a script. It's just like, you know, I take a wig off, I look around in my room, and I pick something up, and you know, and I say something,
right.
because I'm usually trying to beat my family from coming back from Jack in the Box or something. You
Right.
know?
But that's like a special talent that you have, like where I was about to say it, like your videos and your stuff is like content gold. And now you sit here and say, "Hey, it doesn't take me much time." That's a talent you have where a lot of people, it may take them an hour, 2, 4 hours, 6 hours to put it together like that. So again, I think, and I don't think I would say you cut yourself short or give yourself enough credit, but I almost wonder if, man, if like, because again, it's just you're talented. If you can do all that and do that kind of content that people are like, man, how long does it take you to do a video? And you're saying it's only taking you 17 or 20. Like, that's a natural talent. That's an ability that a lot of people that do videos would probably love to have, because again, it could take them 2, 4, 6 hours, 2 days of planning. Who knows? So shout out to you, man. I mean, I respect you not pushing the whole monetize thing, even though I think it'd be cool, and I know you don't feel like you deserve it or your channel's not about that or whatever, but it is, and you could be. And you know, I'm not saying you're wrong for not being. So don't think I'm saying that. I'm just trying to give you respect where the respect's due. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I feel like Pepino Man is content on the way he does it and brings him lots of joy. He is a happy without growing. Does want, yeah, but at the same time, his content is so good that he naturally grows. I mean, he's got 2K subs. I mean, or he's dang close to 2K. He might even have 2K after this interview, or once we're done with this interview, just from doing the interview and everything else, if people didn't know him through whatever. But keeping it fun and simple, yeah, as Alex B says. Yeah, and like,
Yeah, see, like that's one thing is for sure, is like, it's, I know that's probably like, you know, for lack of a better word right now, it's like a handicap that I have,
right,
and I'm fine with it. Like, like I said, it's just like I'm old school. Like when I first, and I'm sure it's gonna change. I'm not
yeah,
saying I'm against it. I never will
no,
happen.
right,
I
right,
might do it later, but it's not in the plans. It's not in my work.
right,
But you know, it's like, it's a disadvantage I give myself. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, like I said, I don't promote my videos. I don't tell other people. I don't
right,
put it on other social medias. Hey, look at what I did.
yeah,
I'm not trying to garner that attention. Like I said, it also has to do with my work. So
right,
I'm, if only 200 people watch a video that I make, I'm more than happy with that. You know,
right,
more than happy. I'm not trying to go viral. A lot of
Right.
people always like, oh, you should do this. That goes viral. I was like, I don't want to go viral. And like, I'm a 45-year-old guy. Like, I shouldn't be going viral wearing a wig, like doing something like that. It's almost embarrassing in a way. I just do this for my
Uh,
YouTubers.
but at
You know what I
this,
mean? I'm
but
doing
at
it for my
this,
YouTubers.
but at
I'm not
this,
trying to go big.
right. But at the same time, you have similar mentalities as me. As you want to push the envelope, you want to push the limits in the card community with the things you do and how you do things. And I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it's awesome. I think it's fun. I think it shows that you're not afraid. You're not afraid to do whatever it takes to, brighten someone's day. And at the end of the day, making people laugh. Like I say, I resort to your videos a lot of times when I need a laugh, man. When I know that I can count on Pepino Man, a Pepino video to cheer me up, to laugh. I mean, I've cried watching, cried in laughing so hard that it's made me cry watching some of your lives and your videos. And again, I respect the hell out of you. Dent wants to know, does Pepino Man chat it up with the Dodger players on or off the field? That's actually a really good question.
Yeah. Like I said, times have changed. It used to be a lot easier. Like back then, we used to actually go to like players' houses and party.
Yep.
Uh, Now, like I said, every time it changes management, we went from Fox to the McCourts to
Yep.
it gets stricter and stricter. Now we're only allowed to talk to them if we're talked to.
I
You know what I mean?
gotcha. Yeah.
So if Kershaw comes up to me and starts talking to me, I have to talk to him.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, like I'm, I'm, I'm a little bit more, I guess, like the quiet guy. I stand in the dugout, and I guess I have no expression when I'm in the dugout during the games. But some of my other friends do talk a little bit more, and like one of my friends, he's always in the back of the tunnel
Yep.
on his grinder. And there's a lot of guys, a lot of players that like to go through his phone and go through his grinder account, real quick between innings.
Oh my gosh. So, have you had, like, since they've changed the rules, touching on that, have you had many players like that come up then and talk to you like in the last couple of years when
Yeah,
the rules changed, or
like
not really?
yeah, no, like now we're on the visitor side
Yep.
when we come out of, so I actually interact with the visitors more than before. And yeah, I mean, one of one of my greatest memories that I still remember, just like my heart dropped. It was totally unexpected. For whatever reason, I don't know. I guess I just underestimated Jeter.
Yeah.
But when we were playing the Yankees, and he ran into the dugout, and I'm the only grounds crew guy there, and he runs up to me, and he's like, "You guys do a great job on this field, man. It's so soft, but it's firm at the same time. I don't know how to describe it, man." He's best field I've ever played on, man. Thanks, and he slapped my knee, and
Wow.
I just like,
Right?
I was like, I almost
Fanboying.
died.
Yeah,
I
fanboying.
almost
That's
died.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, to get someone like that Hall of Fame player to just come up to you and tell you how the field is, like, typically players like that, they want to look for any way to complain about something or come up to you and go, man, this field sucks, or even if it's good, right? A lot of people are just kind of like that. But yeah, how often do the players thank you for the hard work that goes into getting the field ready for them? Tim
Uh,
Lehman.
pretty often, I would say. But it's it's almost ingrained in your head that we have like one of the best fields in baseball. But I'm a groundskeeper, so I know it's where we're at,
Right,
what we can use. We have a big advantage with nature. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Huge advantage. It's easy. Like when I talked to the guy at Boston, when I've been to Minnesota, like the stuff that they have to do,
Yep,
to try to keep it at our level is like three times harder. You know what
right.
I mean? Our mound is easy to fix, and the temperature's perfect in the 80s.
Yep,
For somebody else, it gets cold and it freezes. That's not ideal for it. Or it
right,
gets 100 degrees. That's not ideal for it.
right.
But yeah,
Wow.
so we get a lot of players that they love Dodger Stadium. The way it plays.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I
like
think I.
another surprising guy that's like one of the nicest guys to me personally, that almost every time he walks by me, he talks to me, is Madison Bumgarner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on some of my videos in the past, I always act like I hate him. I make fun of his name because he's a giant, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
a Dodger fan.
Yeah.
So, but he's been like one of the nice. Currently, he's the nicest guy because I fixed the visitors bullpen at the end of the game, and he never goes on the team bus. He always drives there or whatever. With so him and his wife, they always walk out through the bullpen, and he always comes up to me and like thanks me and talks about how great the mound is and stuff. You know?
Awesome. That's crazy. So he takes the time to come back out there and like thank you. That's dude, that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's insane.
And I gotta act like I hate him, but he's actually like one of the
Right.
nicest guys.
Right. 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 Anybody else got any other questions? There were some pretty good ones in there. I mean, really, 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 really good questions. Anybody else got anything? We'll probably get her wrapped up and let him get on with his night and let you guys move on with your nights. I think that's probably gonna. You got? Is there anything else you want to touch on, Pepino Man, while you're here?
I'm good, man. Just everybody, be kind to each other. That's about it, man.
Yeah.
Respect each other's opinions.
And again, man, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for coming in depth with me and doing this. It's always great to have somebody like you who is I feel like a cornerstone within the hobby. You know, again, each and every person brings their own different personality, their different style to what they bring to the hobby, and it's always awesome to have somebody like you that has your own unique side. And like I've said, I respect the hell out of you. I go to watch your stuff when I really need a pick me up. And I would honestly, as you the rest of you guys are in here, if you guys ever need like a laugh or you need something to pick you up, just check out his channel. Go watch a couple of videos. It'll do what it needs to do for you. I'm gonna chat with. Oh wait, does Pepino Man ever chat with Phil from Phil's Polls? Have you ever chatted with Phil Hughes? Have you ever had a chat with him when he played baseball, like when he was on the Yankees or Twins? Phil Hughes, the guy that's in the card community now, that used to be the former MLB player.
Yeah, he has a pretty big channel. He breaks those expensive boxes.
Yes.
And I really don't remember him. You got to remember too is like if he was with the Yankees and stuff, like
Right.
you know, it's like how often do I see them?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yep. All right, cool, man. Well, yeah, guys. Again, Pepino, I want to thank you for coming on here, brother. Again, you have my number now, so before we hit that Chicago National, if you're ever back in Minnesota for anything or around here, hit me up. Let me know ahead of time. I'll take your ass out for dinner. Steak dinner or something good, something nice. Otherwise, man, we will see you around in the YouTube channel and within the community. I appreciate you, brother, man. Peace, you guys. Everybody have a great night. Love y'all,
Thanks,
man.
everybody.
Yep. Take care, guys. Thanks. All right.